Michael, a busy weekend in the Six Nations, a final round championship, but a massive milestone for you. 100 Six Nations games and 200 Ireland games. It's an incredible cap record.
It actually makes me feel old, to be perfectly fair about it. It's only when I started looking at that kind of stuff before Christmas, it began to rack up. It's kind of slightly alarming, actually, to be honest. But yeah, 100 Six Nations matches. I haven't missed one. 100 games for all the teams, obviously this weekend, and 200 for Ireland. So it's brilliant. It helps me do my job even better, I suppose. Really pushes me on even more.
You've been the voice of Irish rugby on radio for many years now, but one of the most iconic is obviously the Grand Slam in 2009 and the O'Gara drop goal. We're going to have a quick listen to it now, and you might just tell us what was going through your head when you were watching that.
O'Gara still standing outside the 22, available here for Leamy. Blasts Martin Williams out of the way. Ireland now look to take it back there with O'Gara. Only best one to get out of the way because O'Gara is standing inside the 22. Back towards O'Gara, intended drop goal. Not O'Gara towards the post. It's still between the posts. It's just as well. Rory Best got out of the way. O'Gara got control of the ball. Slotted it between the posts. The scoreboard says 15 all. I've news for you. Ireland by 2, 17 to 15.
Yeah, it's interesting actually that about the Rory Best thing. I'd nearly forgotten about it, but I was reading something that Raj did earlier last week or the week before, and he was talking about Rory Best actually. That kind of brings it back as well too, but it's just one of those things. The ball seemed to hang in the air for ages, to be perfectly fair about it, and eventually when it did go over, it was just incredible. You know, it was heart in the mouth, certainly from my point of view, and you know, at half-time in one of those games, Ireland were dead and buried in that match, to be fair, and fought their way back in as Ireland tend to do from time to time. But the drop goal was just was sensational actually to win it. Like, it was just one of those big moments.
All those games, Michael, and so many different stadia. We're playing in an iconic one this weekend. But for you, is there a particular favourite to be in, for atmosphere to call a game from?
It's probably Cardiff actually. Some of the biggest moments in Irish rugby have been in Cardiff actually. I mean, even just off the top of my head, I think back to Eden Park in New Zealand when Ireland played Australia during the course of the World Cup. The atmosphere that night was sensational also. Cardiff, I guess, because of the fact that it's in the centre of town, everybody is like almost squashed on top of the pitch. You know, it's not one of those bowl-shaped stadiums. You know, it just seems to go vertically up, and everybody is literally almost about to fall out of their seat onto the pitch actually, and that helps in terms of atmosphere and everything like that. So that's probably the one for me, to be fair.
We've another piece of audio for you to listen to, and it's a more recent one. It's Johnny Sexton in Paris last year. Again, yet another iconic drop goal moment.
But it's Ireland to have control of it, midway between the France 22 and the 10-metre line. Sexton with the attempted drop a goal from outside the 22, going towards the post. It's gone towards the post. It's over. Ireland with the drop and goal. It's gone between the posts. Leg drop. The ball has gone. The fellas are literally on top of each other, away to the left-hand side. France have been absolutely destroyed with the final kick of the game. A drop and goal. France have been robbed of victory. 83 minutes gone. At the Stade de France, the place has gone mad. Ireland have snatched it.
I mean, you know, you talk about key moments in championships. I mean, that was one that set up Ireland, obviously, for the Grand Slam. If that hadn't gone over, they wouldn't have been a Grand Slam. But it was just a self-belief in the team that they just kept plugging away, and they were waiting for a moment to pull the trigger. I remember, you know, the late Anthony Foley said to me one time, you know, it doesn't matter when the 80 minutes is up, the clock is still your friend as long as you retain possession. And we saw a perfect example, heard a perfect example of the Sexton thing there. You know, you're kind of wondering if it was going to come off or otherwise. But just the contrast, even still in my mind's eye, I can still remember the excitement amongst the Irish players and the look of just sheer dejection on Guillaume Guirado's face and the rest of the French team. They knew that it had been literally stolen from their grasp, you know, by a moment of pure magic from an Irish point of view.
When you talk about excitement, Michael, I mean, we can hear it there in your voice. You wear your heart on your sleeve in those broadcasts.
Yeah, look, I mean, my job is a kind of a straightforward enough one. As far as I'm concerned, is to describe what happens on the pitch, you know, and I get very into it in terms of what I try to do. And even just listening back to that, in my head, I'm actually my worst critic, to be fair, and I'm trying to, in my head, say, if I was a listener listening to the match on the radio, would I be describing adequately kind of what was happening on the pitch, basically, to be fair, without the benefit of a television, really. So, yeah, it's not a physically demanding job, but emotionally it can be quite demanding, actually, to be fair about it. Yeah, so it might be a bit of a nightmare to be when a match is finished, to be fair about it.
Fairly emotional one this weekend?
Yeah, I'm expecting a big one, and like Cardiff has been a great theatre from an Irish rugby point of view, over the years. Munster and Leinster winning, European championships there, and Ireland doing so well there as well. And we know that the Welsh supporters really get behind their team when it comes to big occasions like that. And I just think it's set up for a really, really massive clash of two fantastic teams. Personally, I thought it was going to be a Grand Slam decider. I didn't see Ireland losing to England in the first game, but Ireland still have a chance. But I think all the pressure's on Wales, and I just think it's going to really add to the sense of occasion in Cardiff.
Well, we know that anybody listening on RTE Radio will get a real sense of the occasion. Michael, what an achievement. Congratulations, and thanks a million for all the hours of listening on radio.
No worries, Barry. Thanks a million. I hope I can continue for another while anyway before I lose my voice.